Ever wonder how some people keep winning trade competitions and walking away with hundreds, sometimes thousands in rewards? What if I told you there's a strategy behind it all?
It's not gonna work. It's worth a try though, isn't it?
In this video, I will break down a step-by-step guide to help you win any trade contest you enter.
Finally!
Plus, I'll share the exact strategy a recent $300 competition winner used to come out on top. Let's dive in.
First things first, it all starts with research. Before you even think about writing, you need to understand the context. This means diving into the contest rules, figuring out what the judges are looking for, and paying attention to previous winners' traits. If you want to win, you need to know what resonates with the audience. The more aligned your content is with the community and the contest theme, the better your chances.
Next up is creativity. Here's the deal, right? To win, your trade has to stand out. Anyone can write about the obvious, but the winners are the ones who bring something fresh to the table. This could be through storytelling, humor, or visuals. Think about it. What makes your trade different? One strategy is to tap into real-world examples or use humor to engage your audience. Don't be afraid to add memes, GIFs, or graphics, to bring your trade to life. I reached out to Benny, who recently won $300 from a trade competition, and asked him these questions. First, what was his overall strategy for winning the trade contest? He had this to say.
My overall strategy for winning a trade contest is quality. Right, quality. So, personally, I prefer quality over quantity. So you see that some people they can write very, very long posts, but then there is not much quality. And that quality comes from, both the side of the graphic designer. That's a very, 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 important part. Whether you're adding graphic design, adding a bit of motion graphics, it serves a very, very good role because it conveys a lot of information, right? And then the thread itself, the content, the body, right? So it must be quality. That's just my overall strategy.
I also asked how he decided on the topic or angle he used. He had this to say.
The topic or angle, I just try to look for the most interesting things, right? Look for the most interesting parts of that project. So the parts that a lot of people would want to hear, right? So I think personally, when I'm writing my threads, I like to relate it to people. Like I'm writing to human beings, not writing to bots or something. So I write it on that personal level. So personally, what does someone think is what's known about this project? So a lot of people don't know. A lot of people won't like all this technical stuff. They'll like it to be broken down to like a 5-year-old strategy, stuff like that. So that's what I focus on doing. I just look for that part that's interesting, and then I throw more light on that part, and then I'll try and fit in those other complex parts. I just sprinkle them into the thread.
What did you focus more on most? Creativity, engagement, or research? He had this to say.
I'll say I focus more on creativity and research before engagement. Creativity and research. I think quality should always stand out. Right, quality should always stand out. This particular trade contest I won, I was trying out something for the first time. I was not even sure if I was going to emerge as a winner because I was a bit, overwhelmed. So what I did was I tried out, storytelling. So I brought in that, creative part of me, and then I tried to, use a story to grasp people's attention, and then I'll then pass out the part that they don't really like that much, which is the body, and then I still continue the story at the end of the thread. So it was very, very relatable, right? So I think creativity is key. Creativity is key, but in some cases, creativity is not all, right? You need to be creative, and then you need to have understanding about the project. So that's why I say creativity and research are my two strongest arms. Then after those two, I then work on my engagements. So my engagements, I have people that will help me like and comment and stuff like that, reading groups and stuff like that. But my main two points are creativity and engagement. I think those are the main points that any project doing a trade contest should even look out for. How creative you are, and how much of the project that you know.
Were there any specific tools, tricks, or approaches you used?
Okay, one of those tools I use, I use ChatGPT, right? I try to use it to get some ideas, right? Other techniques I'll use, I usually would work with my designer very closely to make sure that he's passing out the information that I want him to pass out through the design, or he's complementing my information. Another trick I also use is I try to ask people around me to criticize the post before it even goes live. So, I use Typefully to arrange my post before I upload it on X. So I'll share it to some people to criticize the post. Is it engaging? What do you think about it? Is there anything I should change? So when I get that review, I go back to work and then I change it. Right. Another thing that I also do, another approach I also do is to try to make sure every word, fits into the narrative that I'm trying to create. So it's more about tone than about writing jargons. So I try to make sure that the wordings, the tone of my voice is all aligning, right? And then I try to eliminate all grammatical errors. I'm not very very good in writing normally, so that's why I use Grammarly to like remove all those grammatical errors and stuff like that.
And lastly, I asked for tips for someone entering the first thread contest. He had this to say.
Since it's a tip, I would say try to make your content, readable to like understandable for a 5-year-old. I think that's the whole essence of writing a thread. If I cannot understand your thread when I'm scrolling through it, Twitter is a very, very busy place. So, as I'm scrolling through your content, I should be able to see what I need at a glance, right? So that's why paragraphing is key. Most newbies, they don't know how to paragraph. They don't know how to, use graphic design to complement, their work. So those are the main things that I'll tell newbies to look out for. Look out for understanding how to pass the information properly before you can start, working on your creativity, and then, all these other small intricacies.
So, to recap, research your audience, get creative, engage your readers, and make sure your thread is easy to follow. I would like to add this, there is no strategy whatsoever to follow for any contest at all. Just like Benny rightly said, you can have your own personal strategy, have tools, get creative, but research always comes first. So stay creative, stay fresh, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tips like this. And if you have ever entered a thread contest, drop a comment below with your own winning strategies. Thanks for watching and good luck with your next thread. See you in the next video.